Hi, and welcome to Chicago Style Eats, the show where we talk about and sample tasty foods invented in Chicago. I'm Tony.
And I'm Stephanie.
And in this episode, we taste the rainbow cone. It's a cake cone stacked with 5 different flavors of ice cream layered in a very specific order that forms a small rainbow. Back in the 1920s, when much of Chicago as we now know it was rural farmland and dirt roads, a young man named Joe Sapp, formerly of New York, saw opportunity in the then desolate Beverly area of the city, with weekly visitors making the journey to mourn their past loved ones at Mount Greenwood Cemetery. Also, Sapp knew the city was planning a streetcar route down Western Avenue, which promised a constant flow of weekend travelers to Mount Greenwood and other large cemeteries in the area, as well as future development as Chicago grew. So Sapp thought that if the mourners are bringing sandwiches with them for the trip, maybe they'd appreciate a nice cold treat. So in 1926, at the corner of Western Avenue and 92nd Street, he built a small shack called the Rainbow Lodge to serve, among other things, an ice cream cone. But he knew it couldn't be just any old cone, it had to be special. So Sapp stacked the cone high with a unique combination of flavors in a specific order which Sapp himself had researched and experimented with. From bottom to top, they were chocolate, strawberry, Palmer House, more on that in a moment, pistachio, and orange sherbet. Today, nearly 100 years later, this still immensely popular cone is still scooped and stacked in the very same order at the very same location, owned by the very same family. The only things that have changed in all that time are the name, the Rainbow Lodge is now known as the original Rainbow Cone, and the building with a distinctive pink exterior that you can't miss as you zip down Western. The Rainbow Cone is not easily duplicated. Stacking 5 normal scoops of ice cream onto a cone is an invitation to disaster. If not for the scooper, then definitely for the customer. Before he devoted his life to ice cream, Joe Sapp was a tool maker. And in order to make his dream work, he used his tool-making skills to create his own ice cream spade, which he used to scrape and stack the rainbow cone then, and as it is today. The ice cream flavors alone are not, for the most part, unique. Sapp wanted his cone to be hearty, so he made sure to include flavors with fruits and nuts. The original strawberry flavor had chunks of strawberries in it. The pistachio ice cream has bits of pistachio in it. But what is this Palmer House flavor? It's a rich vanilla ice cream loaded with chunks of walnuts and sweet cherries. Naturally, being from Chicago, you'd think it came from the famous Chicago Palmer House Hotel, right? Nope. No one knows where it originated. The Sapp family knows only that Joe Sapp brought the recipe for Palmer House ice cream with him from New York via Ohio. These days, you no longer have to trek all the way to Beverly to get a rainbow cone, unless you want to see the bright pink building at 92nd and Western. The original rainbow cone expanded a few years ago, partnering with local restaurant chain Buona Beef to open several city and suburban satellite locations. We stopped by their original location recently to try one.
And it was very tasty.
Oh, it was very good.
Very
very
big. Very big.
Huge. And just tasty ice cream. I mean, there's ice cream in this. It was very rich. All the flavors are very rich. And
well, the orange sherbet wasn't rich. It's orange sherbet, and the pistachio I didn't think was very rich, but the chocolate was just a nice amount of chocolate. So you're probably just referring to the Palmer House one, or just the combination,
and it was good creamy ice cream.
Yeah, it's good ice cream.
Cream.
Individually and all together. And I think, if I remember correctly, you can get it on either a cake cone or a waffle cone. Wasn't there?
I think they did offer it, or was it just in a cup?
No, I'm pretty sure it was a waffle cone.
Right.
And they have a little drip collecting thing that goes on the cone, so that as you're sitting there trying to keep up with this massive ice cream pile. And it's dripping, that there's a little disc-like thing, so you can slurp out of that to get your ice cream, which you'll see us do.
I think most people think it's, to keep from dripping on your hand, but it's a good reservoir for
Yeah,
after.
slurping. But when you do that, you end up getting ice cream on your nose. So you need to make sure you have a napkin with you to wipe it off.
Or just don't bring your nose.
You don't really want to lick your nose. Yeah. So anyway, I don't really like cherries. I think they were candied cherries. They didn't seem like, or I don't know, something about the cherry thing. And the walnuts I wasn't a huge fan of. But otherwise, very tasty. And you could lick individual flavors, or you can just go from bottom up to get a combination of flavors. So very tasty. And now they also have ice cream cakes. So they have the 5 flavors stacked, rolled up in a layer of chocolate cake. So you can bring it home for parties, and you can get the cone to go packaged so that it's just the ice cream in a to-go container. So if you have a party later, you can serve that.
Stephanie found all this out while I was outside getting shots of the building, so I know nothing about this.
Yeah.
So there are
many locations.
Quite a few locations now that they've expanded their little operation.
So where to get the rainbow cone? And it's basically only at the original rainbow cone at 9233 Southwestern Avenue, 498 East Roosevelt Road in Lombard, at Navy Pier, 600 East Grand, 3754 West Toohey in Skokie, 7417 South Cass in Darien, and then also, as mentioned earlier, in partnered with Buona Beef at several locations with Buona Beef. So if you go for your Italian beef, you can also get the rainbow cone.
So go to one of those locations, or a Buona Beef participating location. I don't know if they all are, but
no, it's several.
Several.
Not all.
So at a participating Buona Beef location, and
enjoy and slurp out of the tray thing.
Yes, don't let any of it go to waste.
Slurping.
Even if
fun.
it gets on your hand, just lick it right off. It's because it's
fun.
You know, it's worth a lot of money. On the next Chicago Style Eats, rib tips are trimmed off by butchers in an effort to make the rack of spare ribs more symmetrical.
The gnarly, delicious ends cut off of a rack of smoked St. Louis spare ribs are considered by some cooks as junk. But on the south side of Chicago, these tips are barbecue gold, smoked in metal pits inside tempered glass chambers that have the appearance of an aquarium.
Good stuff. If you like this episode, click the thumbs up icon below. Don't like it? Let us know in the comments what might make it better. Want to see more Chicago-style eats? Click the subscribe button below so you can get an alert each time we drop a new episode. Don't know what the heck we're doing? Click on the end screen or the link in the description below to see our intro video. Thanks for watching.